Listen.
We can talk about anything. We ain't this girl talk. We ain't this girl talk. We can talk about everything. We ain't this girl talk.
Let's talk about it.
Girl talk. Everything pertaining to life and godliness. We can talk about everything pertaining to life and godliness. Creators girl talk. Creators girl talk. Creators girl talk. Creators girl talk. Creators girl talk.
Hey everybody! Hey! Welcome to another episode of Creators Girl Talk! Hey! We are so excited today because we are back in the studio. We took a little break, but it's okay. We're back now. We hope you missed us. We missed you all. We missed being in the studio with each other and talking and doing different things. And we're going to introduce ourselves since it's been a while. And we are.
Hi, I'm Melissa.
I'm Rochelle.
And I'm Annie.
And I am Markeisha Coleman, the Creators Girl.
Yes.
Oh man, today we got a juicy topic. Y'all know we gonna jump right in there. We're talking about what really happens when divorce happens.
My Lord.
Okay.
We talking about divorce on today because a lot of people, I believe, don't take it serious.
Yeah.
So therefore, if you talk about divorce, you got to talk about marriage. So I think people rush into marriages. You know what I'm saying? That's what causes a lot of divorce. We'll get into that a little bit more, but we're going to talk about the biblical standpoint.
Yeah.
The biblical standpoint in Matthew 5, it says the only reason to divorce really is unfaithfulness.
That's what it said.
It's like adultery.
Yeah.
So if you're committing adultery, but if you are a Christian, and this is a lot of reasons why people don't want to be Christians. Too many, little rules and regulations. But I feel like that when you don't have no rules and regulations, you just buck wild. But in this society, everybody just want to be buck wild. Everything go. So the only reason for divorce would be unfaithfulness. And I feel like if you can get past unfaithfulness, you can get past anything.
Yeah.
To some people, unfaithfulness is that deal breaker.
True.
But when you are, when the other person is remorseful, they don't look like they plan on doing it again. You know what I'm saying? Or even if it just, they just stop, and you decide that you're going to make amends. You know what I'm saying? Then you strong with it. With the force. But because sometimes those are things you can't forget. And it's always on your mind, that you never know. So you have to get back to a level of trust where you even trust that person again. And if you're going to stay, you're going to have to forgive and you're going to have to trust again. Otherwise, you're going to have, I want to call it a schizophrenic bipolar marriage. And it's going to be on the other person's part of whoever wasn't the cheater. You know what I'm saying? So when you getting married, it's supposed to be for a lifetime, And so but we know it don't always work like that, right? I've been married 28 years,
My God.
Matter of fact, just September the 6th, we celebrated our anniversary together. We celebrated our birthdays together. We're turning 50 this year, and ministry 18 years. It's a blessing. It ain't always been easy. Nobody gonna sit here with this mic in their hand and play like it's always been easy. And it's been, we've been picking cherries and, flowing through the lilies and stuff. Because I feel like if you don't go through something, I think those are the things that make your marriage. The things that you do.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
Because how long has it been for you, Melissa?
20 years.
20? Wow.
Yay.
Amen. Yeah, we coming up on 18.
Okay.
Marriage now, 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years.
It's a blessing.
To Bishop Danny McGuire. Yeah, I'm married to him.
But I tell you one thing, it is good to have a good godly marriage.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I don't see how you do it without God.
Literally.
I really don't. I mean, I think that's two different categories. Even how I counsel when I talk to people, I'm like, wait a minute, okay, y'all not saved? Okay. that's a different conversation.
That's a different conversation.
That's a whole different-
Yeah.
To the same part.
Yeah, you gotta
Right.
get you.
Because I feel like when you are saved, you have a different set of values, and
One of the reasons why that people get divorced is because they're not around married people. You still want to live a single life,
Mhm.
so you hanging around all your friends who all of them are single and they living it up, but you married now, you can't do what they doing, and it's causing problems in your marriage.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this: the difference for me is I think being saved and married, because my first marriage I wasn't saved,
My Lord.
so there was no fear of the Lord. So my covenant was just to the man.
Okay.
This time the covenant is to God. Right? He's the one that I feel like that fear of the Lord gives me the ability to stay faithful when he's not around, to keep my mind and everything when he's not around, and to, that has had to develop in me even in marriage.
That's good.
Listen, we have you, Creative Girl. You have said so much that we need to impact. I don't know what we're gonna do. And then Annie just reminded me of so much. And my husband can contest to this right now. We looked at each other and we told each other straight up, if you're not saved, we're not gonna be married.
Yeah.
Because my first marriage was like that. We were saved, but we wasn't saved for real.
Say
For real. That's what
right.
you just remind me of that.
Yeah.
Only
You
on the
know,
weekend.
we was going to church and stuff, but we had
Right.
we had been in a relationship 8 years. We were very young when we started out, so we had all the components, and we would have made it, but manipulation and deceit, I can't deal. So once you hit that mark for me, it's a wrap.com. But Eddie has tickled me so good because it's true. We were definitely saved. We went to the counseling. We did all the things.
Yeah.
But how I feel now. You know what I'm saying? We saved for real.
Right, that's it. Right.
No, we didn't have it. We didn't have it that way.
Yeah.
So anywho, but
Yeah,
oh,
but
you so much you
A
said.
lot of times
Yeah.
we marry what we've seen.
Yeah.
We wasn't taught how to be wives. Hello.
Uh-oh.
You know what I'm saying? Even if you were in a marriage, nobody, gave no lessons on, at least, some kind of something about what can happen, what's gonna, what to do when certain things happen. And, they just, kind of kicked you out there and was like, I ain't gonna hold you up. My mama was like, she got mad at my daddy one time, and she was like, if you get married, I'm going ahead and kill you. That was,
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Who?
yeah.
If you got married?
Yeah, she said, if you get married, I'm killing you.
Lord. Wow.
They didn't really, so we was kind of like, we saw marriage, and, we grew up in the 2-parent household. We had our aunties and uncles and stuff, and all of them was married. And then when you really sit back and you really watch them, they was crazy. They did a lot of stuff that they didn't think that we saw. So we didn't really have that hardcore, this is what marriage is about, because a lot of times the stuff that we accept in our marriages is because what we've seen too. Especially when it comes down to like infidelity. Oh, that's just what men do. So, that's it.
Right.
And, it ain't nothing we can do about it. And then if you go to most churches, especially sanctified churches, they be like, suck it up. It's all good. You'll be all right. And you like, well, I guess that is. Go pray on the altar and you get over it.
That's crazy, because I think my parents' marriage made me decide what I did want and what I didn't want in a marriage.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
Clear. I was clear.
yeah, it was like they didn't have the chemistry. Like my mom was like public affection. Like she was not for that, and he was. So it was like this constant fighting away of love and this moving away. And I wanted to that's your husband. Like I just always thought, mommy and daddy should kiss. But it was never that. So I always thought, it should be where you show your kids affection in front of them and show not you fighting them away like all the time. So I was a little confused with that. I was like, nah, I want somebody. So even just going through the struggle of choosing, of leading up to divorce, for me was like life changing. It was because it was a lot. Like it was a lot of questioning and, because I felt the weight of, what I'm getting ready to do. And then you feel selfish in it. You feel, because you're starting to weigh out the fact that, you got children involved and I'm about to change their life and things like that. But also, I'm gonna tell the truth. In 2 years, I felt like we had been married for 20.
Yeah, it was a lot of weight.
A
Yeah.
lot of weight.
And I was like, this isn't. I don't think this is what marriage is supposed to be. I was like, I can't see this being the rest of my life like this, because I have absolutely nothing bad to say about my ex-husband. Like,
yeah, I
good
got
dude,
0.
really good
Zero.
dude.
Mhm.
And that's why I married him, because I'm like, this is a good friend.
Mm-hmm.
He was a good friend, but it was no fight. I'm sorry.
Not yours.
I'm sorry. I need a little flame up in there some kind of way, and there wasn't it wasn't no flame. No fire. I married my friend.
Yep. That's right. Because we were told it was so much we were told that we should do. You know, you're supposed to marry your best friend. You know, I thought if you kiss someone, you had to go with them. That must lead to marriage. But you know, we were very reserved that way. That's how I got with the first husband.
Listen.
That's how it was.
We together now. You kissed me.
Yes.
Like you baby.
Because someone else had kissed me, and we set up a plot. And this person was part of the plot. And so every day I would call him and say, listen, are you doing your part? You know, the plot. And anyway, long story short, he was like, yeah, he said, you know what? Don't worry about that plot. I think me and you gonna be the one.
And even in the church, it just seemed like more people was getting married just because they wanted to have sex.
Yeah.
They just wanted to be right.
Well, yeah.
And then some of them was just putting people together.
Oh.
You go to Bishop so-and-so church, so you
That's
gonna-
wrong, y'all.
You the same age, so y'all we gonna groom y'all like that's some weird stuff right there. I might not even like you. You might not even be attracted to me.
weird.
And you talking about some we finna get married.
It's a whole lot of people together.
Yeah, it's a
on
lot
that.
of.
And
I've seen a
we're
lot of
not being
marriages like
offensive. We do understand culturally there are different cultures
That's what
that
I was gonna say.
you know that
That is a
adopt
real
this
thing.
belief.
Yeah.
But however, we do not have this belief
We do
system
not.
here.
That is a real
Right? We
thing.
want to like the
Yeah.
person. We want to love them.
We wanna know you.
Yeah, is that right?
Don't just bring nobody to me and say this your husband. Like,
Wait, what? That's a craziness. We don't believe that here. I'm so sorry. Amen. Amen.
if y'all ever seen Aladdin, the cartoon, not the cartoon,
The
but they
movie.
made the movie, right?
Mhm.
And they
What
brought this goofy man, and you know, she looking at him like, you know,
Yeah.
and she was like, you know, like what nothing he was saying was the right
Add it
stuff.
up. Yeah.
And you looking like you more prettier than me. That's what I thought that was funny too.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, I'm like, this is
Yeah.
just, we cannot. We
Yeah.
don't live in that. We don't live in that culture.
And we're thankful.
Thank
We're
you,
thankful
Lord.
about that. We have a choice and we get
Amen.
to pick and we're
It's
free.
so true.
And God,
Very
we're
free.
free. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus, for that.
Yeah, because that's
And it plays a
Ooh.
big part. It
Mhm.
plays a big part in the marriages when you are put in a marriage and you're not absolutely attracted to the person. You have no tie to the person. I'm sorry. Oh, I talk low. So you have no tie to this person. You're not attracted to this person. You have nothing in common. You know, and I do know that, you know, sometimes you will attract the opposite. And I mean, the opposite maybe you may be one that's real knowledgeable and you just may be one that's a little quirky. I'm not talking about opposite sex here, okay?
right.
I'm talking about opposites attract.
Opposite
Right.
attract.
But when there's nothing there to hold that marriage together, first being God, I can speak from me and my husband being, we was shacking, we was hood babies. So we had the kids, we had the house, we had everything. And I was like, we can't keep doing this. This is not right before God. We got to get married. And I never wanted to be married. Not because I grew up in a household that didn't have a stable marriage. I lost my parents young, so I saw them married. You know, I was baby 8. I don't know if my mom and dad might have been tied by that time. My dad had 10, my mom had 8 by him. So they could have been just poop tied at that point. I don't know, but but I saw a healthy marriage with them when I was a little girl. But because when I met my husband, I told him, you're gonna have to be able to treat me how I've seen my dad treat my mom, all my siblings, and treat me. I'm like, and if you can't do that, then we not gonna be together.
My dad made the standard
And
too.
so it's important that you have something there in the marriage, because the marriage is going to dwindle, it's going to fail, it's going to fall if you have nothing that you want to preserve your marriage for. First being God, and we can be honest, we're going to say, yes, God, all things unto God, all glory, right? But God not going to be the one finessing your husband.
Right. Come on, talk to
And
me,
your,
sis. Come on.
God not gonna be the one finessing you. It's a real thing.
It's real.
And so we have to understand that there is God, and then the husband, and then us, right? But we all have a part to play. And if you ain't playing that part, then how it's gonna work?
Ooh,
That's
ooh,
good because that makes you think about
good.
the levels of maturity and
Yep.
immaturity in marriage. And in the beginning, sometimes it's a lot of immaturity. And my apostle sitting right over there, so he about know how immature I was. Like, no, him, he did. And he like, okay, well, let's talk about you. I'm like, wait a minute, you aren't listening. Right. I said, I'm talking about him. We ain't talking about me.
One of the things I ask in our marriage counseling, I say, why y'all getting married?
Yeah.
If they say anything outside of they love each other, you ain't ready.
That's right.
Yeah.
You shouldn't even be in here if that ain't the main reason.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Ooh.
if you, because we done had people, they was like, well, we just thought putting our incomes together would be a good thing.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. We were counseling. They said because it was just a good idea.
What's gonna happen?
Right.
It, you know, it was a good idea.
Well, I like her, she like me, so
So
we
we
might
feel
as well,
good.
None
you
of
know,
that's
might as
gonna
well
hold.
live right.
No,
Man, listen, you got the love, and I wish that people, I wish the world didn't tie sex with the word love.
No,
Because
right.
That's a
I really wish that it just wasn't together, like, you know, because love is you have to love past yourself.
Past
You
yourself.
have to be so selfless.
And him or her, your mate,
Oh,
Yeah, they have to do it too.
That's
Yeah,
themselves.
shameless plug. My book is The Art of Outloving
Come on.
Yeah, yeah.
Your Spouse. So if
Yeah.
I'm busy outloving him and he busy outloving me, we shouldn't have no problems. We ain't got time for nobody else.
We was just talking about that, how nowadays, how even the guy think he the prize.
Isn't
Like,
that funny?
I feel like, and my husband was saying, like, we should both feel like we the prize. Not the woman feel like, oh, he came up when he got me, I'm the prize. Or the other way around. We should both feel like, you know, the prize is like, I'm constantly glad that I'm with you, you glad you with me. But
We are the deal.
yeah.
Oh,
Right.
I got something very important. I don't want to forget.
Okay.
Remember how we were just talking about you have to love the person, right?
Yeah.
I want to add psychologically too that you have to love that person through every evolution that they go
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
That's that's so important
Yeah.
because every stage of that new individual, right?
Right.
And you know, you'll be there. You'll be looking at, okay, well, you're over there,
Yeah.
no problem. Let me evolve.
But
And
see,
come
these are the
together.
things that we don't talk about
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
divorce just seems to be the end all be all. Like it just seems like that's the answer.
They don't want to go through nothing.
Right. So
Go through
people
something.
don't understand the levels that you have to go through growing up with somebody, especially
Yes.
nowadays. Like I've seen couples who did it right. Like they got married young, right? So if you get married young, you got to mature together. You got to grow together. There's still parts of yourself that has some, you know, some purposes and desires that you want to do, education wise, maybe financially, maybe, you know. But then you still gotta be okay with that person involving with you. And
Yes.
sometimes I've noticed like couples get jealous of each other. So there's a struggle there.
Evolving at their
Yeah.
own pace as well,
Yeah.
and being
Ooh,
able
we need
to
a whole
still
separate show on this one.
being able to still love them through
Yeah,
that. You
yeah.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a statistic gonna come up in a little bit at some point that's gonna talk about what happens when the incomes and things change and whether
Oh,
or not
yeah.
divorce is or isn't. I don't want to give it away,
Yeah.
but it's so important. I love what you just said. You know, can you love as that person in spite of? Can you do it?
It's so many things that it comes into play when you get married, because what if that person gets sick? You gonna love them through that sickness? Are you willing to take care of them? What if one of their legs get cut off? It's just some stuff that you really need to think about, and not just a wedding. A lot of people just want that wedding. You just spent all this money on this wedding, and y'all don't even like each other for real.
Some people are in love with just the wedding.
Oh no, how about this one?
Yes.
I just feel like after we get married,
gonna get
Da
better.
da 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 da.
Right.
After we get married, I'm gonna act right. Or after we get married, I think it'll be better. Or after we get married, I mean, I think I can help change him.
It's sad, yeah.
Those are the worst things to build
Yes.
a marriage on. Now you already see all the signs
All the time.
up to, but you're
Run,
gonna keep looking
run,
over
run.
him because you feel like I can make him better, and it's like,
No, ma'am.
no, only God
That's
can
the
make
only
him
one gonna
better.
change a man.
And you
Sooner
gotta
or
be
woman,
seeking God
'cause they do it
yourself.
too.
Yeah,
All them signs, you know she
Yeah.
crazy. There's something wrong with her.
I'm talking
And
about
you got all
everyone.
us watching
But we
it,
can't be
involved.
that thirsty to be with. I know we supposed to have companionship, but we can't have any companionship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We can't be that thirsty to be with somebody that we will be with anybody.
Thank you so kindly. And this applies not only in ministry, come on here, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
This is the real thing.
Yes.
I feel like a song. Value yourself.
I think that value yourself. And actually, you have to love yourself in order to love someone else. And I think that's part of the biggest issue. They're going into these marriages, not even loving themselves and thinking that they're in a place and a capacity to love someone else and then change someone else. When half the time you need some changing because you don't even love yourself.
If you are truly feeling these ways, that you can change someone, that you're trying to make, I'm going to marry to make it better. Not only do you need premarital counseling, you need individual therapy, all right, both of you, as well as individual counseling, all right? And then it's a spiritual counselor on top of those three. Try three things.
yeah.
3 things for you. Mm-hmm. 3 things.
Well, guess what, y'all? Guess what time it is?
Oh, no, already.
It's time for the Bishop's Corner.
the Bishop's Corner.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Bishop's Corner.
Talk to us, Bishop.
This is the Bishop's Corner, the Creator's Girl Talk Show. I'm happy to be with you, and I'm glad you're here with me. Listen, today we're tackling a subject that is so prevalent in our society, not only in our society, but in church society, and pretty much in every echelon of society, and that is divorce. Wow. What a subject. It is written, husbands, love your wives, even as Christ loved the church and gave himself for it. And that's a biblical standpoint. And that biblical standpoint is for those who are believers. But do you know how divorce affects our society, period? Whether we're Christian or not, divorce affects our society in such a negative way. There's a mystery in the scriptures where it talks about, for this cause shall a man leave his father and his mother and cleave unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. Paul talks about that, and he mentions that it's a mystery, and he mentions that he is speaking concerning the church and Christ. I want to make a couple of bold statements here. If you look at that, you still see two people when they get married. But once they procreate, every time you look at that child, you're looking at husband and wife and one flesh. Whether they stay married or whether they get divorced, every time God or anyone else looks at that child, they're looking at husband and wife in one flesh. And this is why it's so dangerous, because we got a whole lot of schizophrenic individuals who have seen themselves torn apart because their parents are torn apart. Isn't that something? If we are believers, let me talk to those believers. If we are believers and we believe what the Word of God says concerning marriage, for this cause shall a man leave his father and his mother and cleave unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. Paul spoke of that again as a mystery concerning Christ and his church. Here's a big statement that I want all of us to consider as we consider this impulsive divorce situation. If we as believers divorce our spouses, we are literally making a statement that there is no hope for Christ and his church. this has been the Bishop's Corner of the Creators Girl Talk Show. Thank you for listening. We love you real much. We'll see you soon.
We're back. You hope you enjoyed the Bishop's Corner.
Yes.
We have a few statistics today that we're gonna let Rochelle talk about.
All right. So we are going to share a couple of most surprising or especially interesting statistics about divorce. So first-time marriages that end in divorce, their rate is less than half in the U.S. Roughly about 43% of first marriages end in a divorce or dissolution. Is that interesting? Y'all believe it?
I thought it was more.
You did? Okay. Yeah, about 43%. Second and third marriages fail at much higher rates. About 60 to 67% of second marriages end in divorce, and about 70 to 73% end for a third marriage. All right, kind of higher number, huh?
It just seemed like after they did it a couple of times, it ain't working. It might be good for you not to.
No, I think by that second or third time, you know exactly what you want.
Right.
So that tolerance level just.
Well, you know what? Like you said,
zero.
maturity. Because
Just like-
it takes people a little
Yeah.
bit more,
Mhm.
you know, to mature. So
I
by
can
that
see
third
that.
one,
I feel like
And that third one, like if somebody playing games, you like, you know what?
I done
It's
seen
bad
some
by
folks
myself.
though. They third one was worse than the first two. At some point, is you a black widow? I mean, like, is you know what's going on with that? You know. But you know what it really is? It's selfishness.
Yeah.
It's
That-
really
well,
is
truly.
selfishness.
Truly.
If you, yeah, you got to be willing workers in this thing.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just had to.
Right, I mean, okay. What do you think the amount of years is that people are married before they are divorced? How many years do you think they make it?
Nowadays?
I want to say close to 9.
Okay, that was good. What do you think?
I've been seeing, as of late, it's been anywhere from 15 to 20.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that is a new phenomenon
It
that's
is a
going on
new-
right now. I'm
it is
seeing
really-
80-year-olds go buy them houses from their spouses, and I'm like,
Really,
what?
like,
Yeah.
like I've been seeing a lot.
Okay.
I'm like, after 20 years, I'm like, can we
You
not
would
get
think
some
that-
type of reconciliation?
You done worked out all your kinks
Can I
after
just
20.
stay
Yeah.
upstairs?
Yeah.
20 years.
I know 10.
Once you made it over 7, hey, we gonna figure this thing out.
I know
Right, yeah.
9 and 10
We
say
in
it
there.
was really hard for us, so that's why I'm saying like they like this 2-year hump seems to be something else. So,
Oh, my
I don't
Lord.
know.
So 8 years. 8 years is the
Okay.
average. On
Yeah.
average in the U.S., marriages that end in divorce last roughly 8 years before dissolving.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. See, I was
Okay. This is a statistic from Australia. Australia divorce rate in 50-year marriages last longer. They have lasted longer from the statistics of 2024. So Australia saw its divorce rate drop to about half.
See, I don't know what culture it is. so I
Right,
can't
what they
hear.
doing in
Right.
Australia?
Yeah.
Talk to it.
My thing is this: the
Mark it down, that thing to do.
There's people that have been married for like 30 and 50 years, and then they get a divorce. Like, what's wrong with you?
It's a thing going on right
Yeah,
now.
that
Yeah.
trips me all the way out.
I think it's definitely selfishness because at that point I think you just got some stuff on your bucket list and you just want to be free and you know
You
what
gotta be.
I'm close to dying so let me go on and do some of these things that I've been wanting to do.
That's
Without
the wrong
this
time.
spouse.
That's the wrong time to
Yeah.
start thinking like
But
that.
that's the way of the
People
world.
They already
Yeah.
got lost their spouses, and you still trying to go to bingo and think you gonna be going on cruises.
Yeah, that's the way of the world.
I've seen a lot of people who got divorced and they get back together.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Westman had it down.
I'm like,
Yeah.
cause
But I done seen people break up and stay married.
Yeah.
Now see, that's some stuff right there.
Okay.
Cause what
We
was
got
you
some
should be
celebrities doing this right now.
We don't go together no more, but we just not going. We stay in the same house, everything, different rooms, different lives.
Yep.
They just, it's too
They
late in the
say
game to
that's
do all that paperwork stuff.
Cheaper to
It's just cheaper to
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Dating inside of the already marriage that you already done did whatever it was you were doing. So, okay, well let me do it. Can I get 2 more? Okay, in some countries, almost all marriages that are registered are eventually dissolved. In certain European or former Soviet states, When you compare divorces to new marriages, especially when the marriage rate is low, the lifetime risk of that percentage of marriages that end in divorce can be extremely high, about 70 to 90%. So in some countries, if you register a marriage, you will more likely divorce with between 70 to 90%. Right. Isn't that something? Okay, I'll do the last one is income. I promise it's the last one. Okay. So higher income doesn't always mean a lower divorce rate. As household income increase, divorce rates generally drop, but only to a point. For example, once household incomes raises past around $200,000, divorce rates level off. And above $600,000, some data shows that divorce rates begin to creep back up again. So you got no money, right? You're doing okay, but when the money goes up, you don't divorce. Then when you get around the middle, which they're saying they're medium, and we're speaking more in our lives, but the medium's $200,000, then it levels off. But if you get more than $600,000, the divorce rate begins to creep back up. So,
Wow. So we have this clip that we want to show you all that talks about impulsive divorce.
Impulsive divorce is far more destructive than you realize. From a psychological perspective, walking away too quickly carries 4 lasting consequences. First, it robs your child of emotional safety and a stable environment. No child wants to be shuttled between 2 homes, making painful holiday decisions. They don't understand the complexity of marriage. They only know their world just broke in half. Second, you dismantle everything you built together. The shared home, financial plans, even the simple routines all become battlegrounds. That sense of us disappears forever, replaced by logistics and loss. Third, loneliness creeps in deeper than you expect. What starts as freedom soon turns into a void. No one waits for you at night. No one texts to ask if you made it home. You begin to realize how much meaning came from the quiet companionship of partnership, and not everyone can handle that emptiness. Fourth, your pain ripples outward. Those who care about you, your closest friends, even your adult children, may be devastated. They may not understand, and they may not know how to help. They're forced to watch from the sidelines as your world collapses. Divorce isn't a solution. It's the start of bigger problems if you're unprepared. Walking away isn't bravery, it's avoidance. True maturity means facing the cracks head on and only leaving once you've truly done the work to fix them, or confirm they never could be fixed.
We're back. And we're going to talk about today impulsive divorce.
Impulsive divorce, okay.
This clip was so on point for me. He said one of the things that it does is that it robs your child of their safety. I'm going to say natural, spiritual, emotional, because now you're making the child choose between the two. Whereas you had one household, you did all the holidays together, you did all the birthdays together. Now you got to make them choose of who house you're going to go to when it's Christmas time. You're making them choose of who they want to stay with, because at a certain age when you go through a divorce, they ask the kids who you want to be with. Now you're making them choose, and then I know that has to be hard on the other parent, because if they don't choose you, you know, now you don't feel like your child love you in a way. And a lot of people I've seen when it comes down to divorce, they dog the other person out. Now, even if they a bad person, they still that child's mother or father. You know, and so whatever you putting in their head will make them choose whether or not they want to deal with their parent or not, and that's a hard place to be.
But even now here, even in like movies and TV, like it's this norm now where the kids kind of want their parents to be happy versus always fighting around them, right? So it's almost as if like I don't know, we've gotten comfortable in the culture of divorce, like that being an answer. So when we're talking about this right now, it's making me want to really focus in more on putting in the work to fight for your marriage, right? Because we think divorce is just that answer.
Right.
To get out, right? I'm not happy, I'm angry, I don't like him right now. And we don't understand like that those feelings come and go, right? That we're fighting for the covenant, we're fighting for, I even literally just said this not so long ago. I was like, man, when you realize that this is your husband, you have to fight. I don't care if he acting up towards you. You got to understand that that he not the problem is the problem.
That's
right? And we got to stand together and start to, or even just as a wife sometimes, you can see, your husband might be, I don't like you right now, but now it's my job to pray because I need to fight all the spirit of darkness against, for my husband. Because in my mind, this is mine. Especially where I'm at today. I'm like, look, I didn't refine him a little bit. I done got him to his best place. Like, no. Like, devil, no, you can't have him. You can't have him, period. So, starting to, as a woman, understanding, and this is, again, in God. This is why you need to be in God to be married. Because as a woman, you got to have that level of intercession for your marriage. Right? I don't care, because somebody told me years ago, an older woman said, she was like, yeah, you go in love and you go out of love, right? And I'm like, wow, that is, it's kind of real. But the fact of the matter is, without the Holy Ghost, I wouldn't know how to have that additional love that I need to maintain this marriage so that divorce does not become my way out every time.
Right.
Like, it shouldn't even be one of those words you use just willy-nilly. When you just throwing it up every time we just at the end of our rope with each other. Right. And it's like, well, fam, we just need to get a divorce. Like, no. Like, yeah, it's got to be some long suffering in there.
A lot of times they don't even try to figure out what's going on with that person. They might be having a midlife crisis.
Yeah.
And you like, you don't like me, like.
Right, and it's not about you.
It's not that he don't like you right now. He don't even like himself. Right. So you got to figure out,
and that's why
that time
it's that mystery comes up where you can't be talking to everybody about your marriage. Because the first thing they gonna say is, girl, I got a cousin, he been digging you for a long time. If I was you, get out of there. And so it's definitely
not me.
It's definitely like not a conversation to have with your friends, especially your single friends.
And don't talk to the friends that just always negative. Like anytime they just negative, talk can drop it. Because for some reason we think that this negative speaking and I'm just being real. No, you just being nasty and negative. You not.
I love the fact that I had friends that was fighting for my marriage. Even when my friends was fighting for my marriage. Like I'm trying to tell them, I'm trying to tell them, like, no girl, I'm done.
I was just talking about this. Like people be like, you always just positive. Well, that's all I got. Let me pray about this and see what's the other way. Like just hold on right there for a minute. Don't push no buttons, don't sign no documents. Just sit still.
You need friends that's gonna help you fight even when you don't want to fight.
Right.
You need friends that, I'm telling you, I'm thinking that my friends will be on my side, like, yeah, girl, forget them, leave them. They like, no, Annie, no. Yeah. Like,
I'm a good dude. What you doing?
Right? We not divorcing him, okay?
We not divorcing him. Wait, what?
Just together.
What you mean? Because you mess around, the one that's telling you, girl, you don't need him, leave him, it's going to be the one in his inbox when you leave, when y'all break up.
I promise you. You also got to recognize something that's really important. You got to know when there is a spirit involved.
There we go.
Everything is not that. Just like you will say, that's not this person, that person. You have to know when the spirit is involved.
Like this show right now.
Right. You can't.
They need to see us on ABC right now.
Oh, right. And that comes real important again. We're having a godly marriage.
Yeah.
Because you have a level of discernment when you know that they're dealing with a spirit. When this is whether it is male or female, they both, any of them, can be dealing with it. It don't even have to be infidelity. It could be a lying spirit.
Yes.
It could be, whatever it is, we have to recognize when things are a spirit and it's not them, and stop accusing them of being a certain way when it's not them, it's actually a spirit.
And it could just be a spirit of distraction sent in because God see y'all growing towards something together. And because again, marriage in my eyes has always been synonymous to our relationship with Him, right? It's an earthly manifestation of our relationship with Him in the spirit, right? So again, we're working through some of those kinks. I often say, if you can't submit to God, you ain't gonna be able to submit to your husband or your wife.
You have to understand where that true covenant is. Where is that? Your behavior in your marriage should be all surrounded by your covenant with God.
Absolutely.
then therefore when you respond, you're gonna come in a godly way. I love what Prophetess Markeisha just said. She said you gotta recognize when the spirit is there, and you gotta be able to point out if it's on the person or in the home or if on in the person.
You slamming cabinets, that ain't gonna make the spirit go.
That's not gonna make the spirit go.
Our flesh is not against. The fight is not against flesh and blood.
Everything in this house getting rebuked today.
In the name of Jesus. Come on with this
Have that
oil.
relationship with God. You are absolutely right, because that is going to let you know where you need to be interceding, where you need to hit those points of prayer. And listen, and God gonna let you know just as well when you wrong. Listen, there's gonna be a lot less divorce if God is involved, because He's gonna tell you, now you going in there because you be like, who? You.
Yeah.
Because apologize.
It's real.
When you know you wrong.
Give them an example of words that you can say, because some people don't know how to use
say, "I'm
words.
sorry."
Apology, yeah.
They don't know how to.
They don't know how to do it.
Yeah, they don't know how to do it. Show up late, prophet.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What you want to eat?
Listen, I'm hungry. And I thank you for apologizing to me.
That part.
Cause we ain't going nowhere. Me and my husband decided when we was younger.
Can my salary just be an
Ain't
outfit?
neither one of us sleeping on no couch. So
Look, do I have to say words? Can it just be
Other
we
ways
just gonna be mad but turn backs. But we ain't none of us having no crook neck tonight.
Like it's out of the mouth. Bring that thing on into the earthly realm. Speak it out. I'm sorry, baby. Listen, I'm gonna let all hell and damnation know we ain't going nowhere. I'm sorry, I did it. I said it.
Right.
It was
What we
me.
doing there?
And can we move
My
on
bad.
to restitution?
How about just my bad?
Can we move on to restitution?
I mean, there's benefits in the making up part,
It's
but y'all
benefits
know
in the
what?
making
Some people, this right here, listen. This is good. This is good.
Benefits in the making of.
Some people make problems so they can make up.
No, that is the foolishest thing.
I said I start some of them breakups.
Nah,
But we get to the
right.
breakups.
Which some of that you don't come back from, and that's the reason why they be getting divorced. Okay, listen. All right, so then another thing is everything you built together is divided.
What you said, but this is
Oh, yeah.
Everything that you built. So if you got a house,
Yeah.
if you got a business, you got a company,
your friends.
you know, your friends.
You know.
Ooh, sometimes, and that's bad. You gotta really be some kind of special
Yeah.
to still go to the same functions and your exes there.
Yeah.
Because now you become the enemy. I seen it. You become the enemy and y'all are at war. I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? Just me, if I don't like you, I ain't got nothing to say to you.
I'm not coming.
I mean, even if you got, I know sometimes people have kids and different things like that. But why we gotta be at war?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you obviously you don't want me, and I don't want
Well,
you to be
the problem
war.
is most of the time it's at war because there are still some feelings. Like,
Yeah.
that could be a situation where she just don't want to be married no more, or just he don't want to be married no more. Because most of the time in marriage, it's very rare that both people are just like, we're done with each other. Most of the time it's one that's, you know, and the other one is kind of like, I want my marriage, and the other one is like, I don't want you no more, I'm gone, you know, because they have choices. So that's where the animosity and the fight get in and stuff like that, because it's like, you know, you gonna move on without me and things like that. So it gets a little ugly, especially with property, and you like, no, that's
mine.
yeah, that's my house. Well, I paid for the garage to get, you know, redone, but no, I paid for all the new windows, you know, and that kind of. But that's where the courts kind of fix that and
that's so crazy.
things like that. But yeah, it's definitely
That's too much.
It's a lot.
That's too much.
It really is
Or
a
the
lot.
splitting of the families. And sometimes when kids are
Yeah.
involved or not be kids involved, and they're still trying to be involved in that life. If you've walked away from that life, you still are trying to partake in the fruits of that labor, but that is no longer your yard, your vineyard. You walked away from it.
Yeah.
So now you didn't throw your own parties.
Yeah.
Don't come to our party. You
Right.
just have a separate
That,
party for the
you
kids,
know.
and I'll have a
I'm
separate
thinking
party.
that.
Ooh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, that's too much.
Yeah.
But you know what the biggest thing is when you really, really love somebody, and I'm really, really passionate about this, is that person in a divorce disappears forever for you. Then that turn up, those divorce parties turn into true loneliness. at the end of the day, people really don't, that really love each other, don't want to get a divorce. Because what I've seen them go through stages of just these bad stages. One, they be like, okay, we did it, but then they be crying and weeping, you know, and they hurt.
It's like suffering a death.
Yeah.
Oh, it really
So
is.
that's
I'm
what-
gonna give you an example
It's
of this
grieving.
death. That's why I just raised my hand about it. I want to I hope I got it right. I heard a therapist say recently that divorce is a death where the grieving is always alive because it's the only type of death where the other person is still alive. So basically, you have to deal with a death and go through the same process of, grief, but this person is still alive. It has nowhere to go because in that divorce, in that death, you're constantly reliving because this is the only kind of death where the person is still alive.
Wow. And then you have to deal with knowing that they're still around. And that's the reason why a lot of people do crazy stuff like committing suicide or stalking you, different things like that, because they really haven't gotten over the fact that they're not with you. And some people even go as far as murdering people because they will say stuff like, well, if I can't have you, nobody else can. They believe in that. Yeah,
And one thing I have noticed and learned is in God how He can reignite a marriage. You can feel like you at the edge of it, and divorce is the answer. And God can come and revive that thing. I mean, I don't know.
If you want it, it's
That is
possible.
for somebody. I know who that's for. That's for somebody that's at the end of their rope, and that's the perfect place to be because now it's time to give it to God. And I know He can resurrect. Man, He will put a new love in your heart. He will put a new fervor, a new zeal for each other, a new excitement. He will give you new eyes when you start seeing them differently and all of that. But you have to put your trust in God, and you have to go through those phases of asking God to forgive you.
Yeah.
I don't even care what He did. There's some
Forgive me,
places
oh
that
Lord.
you just got to say, Lord, forgive me, because there's something that I fell short on my watch. Something I got to deal with on what was my hand and the part of us wanting to get to this place of divorce, right? Because somewhere in there, I did something right where He wanted to marry me. What changed, right? We got to revisit that. We got to find out where did the enemy creep in and try to get back to that place. And that's the work that has to be done. And I know most men don't really care to go to counseling. That's just a thing. Like for some reason they don't want to go. They just like, it's gonna always find something wrong with me. And I think the vulnerability of just being transparent and to a third person, a third party, sometimes turn men off. But I totally suggest
I'm in
full support of
Full support.
going to therapy, going to counseling, having some real conversations. Because just because we reconcile, sometimes people hold on to some stuff that they did not. Wait, I actually saved something and said, but you go ahead first. I'm gonna find that real quick.
That's the Lord's revealing to
Yeah, I
you.
want to touch on that point. Yeah, bring that because I was going to say, like, even with the reconciliation, we have to get to a point where the Lord delivers us from that place of bondage, that place of not trusting. Wherever we were hurt or broken, whatever was fallible in the relationship, whatever transpired, we have to come from that place. And sometimes we try to stay in that place even though, the relationship is reconciled. And so we are still living in that past place, and we have to come from that past place. And so that takes, like Pastor Annie was saying, we need some, want to talk this out with. Sometimes we'll hold it in, and the only thing that's doing is we're reliving it inside of us.
Yeah.
You're replaying it, and I know for a fact, but a lot of this stuff that we talk about, y'all, we've been through. And so we can't really talk about something that we haven't been through.
Right.
And I know how it feels to stay in that place. You want that healing, but you really don't want that healing at the same time. Because there were certain things that I would do, and I would rehearse. I was rehearsing it every day, and I couldn't get over it. And so
yeah.
what I would say is, instead of rehearsing that hurt or that pain or that situation, I had triggers everywhere.
Yeah.
But I was allowing myself to be triggered. You see what I'm saying? We have to replace that trigger with God's presence.
Oh yeah.
If you don't, it's almost impossible to get over a thing if you don't allow God to do the healing. You can't heal yourself.
And you gotta lean into those feelings too.
Yeah.
Sometimes
You gotta
if you're
confront
moving too fast past, you know what I mean, just trying to keep peace and things like that. No. If something happened in your marriage and you're hurt, you gotta really lean into those feelings. Examine, you know, what you're feeling, process it, and then now you know how to go before the throne of grace and ask the Lord to help heal that area. Because if we skipping over it, I promise it's gonna come back up. It's gonna come back up in another fight, another argument, or the enemy will bring it back up as bait just to throw you back off. And then you need the gift of the Holy Spirit to help enter in to assist you in that forgiveness. Because sometimes forgiveness just seems like I can't. No, you can't. You probably can't.
You don't
want to do it.
And
Right.
that's the thing, because you have
It's
to
a hard
get to a
thing.
place where God is actually, if you're gonna give it to Him and allow Him, you know, and you've decided to weather through whatever that storm was, you have to get to a place where it's like, okay, well, if I'm giving this to you, I have to come to a place of agreement to have this thing released, to come to a place where I am going to forgive. But you do have to, just like with death, you have to go through all of those emotions. You have to give yourself that moment of being angry, being, you know, hurt, being whatever it is that you've experienced in that moment, so that you can come out of it.
And another thing that you can't do is have somebody rush you out of your healing process. Because they're tired of you saying it, or they're tired of you. They can't rush you out of your healing. You know, only in God's timing where you be healed and made whole. Not just healed, but made whole. There's a difference. Because when you're made whole, it's no longer an issue. You don't think about it no more. You don't have triggers no more. You know, you don't bring it up. You don't waddle in that place. You know, so we have to be made whole if we're gonna stay together. We're advocates for marriage.
Praise God.
And
Praise
working
God.
it through. If you can work it through, we're not telling nobody to stay in no abusive situation. We're not saying that at all. But what we are saying, if it's workable, then work it out.
Right.
Work it out.
Yeah.
Woo! Well,
man.
favor is deceitful and beauty is vain. But a woman that feared the Lord, she shall be praised. This has been another episode of Creators Girl Talk. Woo!
We can talk about anything. Creators Girl Talk. Creators Girl Talk. We can talk about everything. Creators Girl Talk. Let's talk about it.